Wow. Look at that. A shot of Zack Danielz is back? Oh, you bet your ass I am. And this time, we have a format. Let's fucking do this shit. Ah, yes. Welcome to the first episode of A Shot of Zack Danielz. For the first time in a long time. This show is brought to you by the Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports. You can follow, like, subscribe to us on Instagram and Twitter at Funts Podcast, and on Facebook, YouTube, and almost anywhere you get your podcasts under the name Fat Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports. So, what are we doing? Well, I haven't done an episode of A Shot of Zack Danielz, and I'm calling it A Shot of Zack Danielz rather than A Shot with Zack Danielz. A Shot of Zack Danielz just rolls off the tongue easier, and I was getting a lot of comments on shot with, it should be a shot of. It's like, well, I'm not a drink, and my name is Zack Danielz, but I get it, because everyone likes to make sense. I mean, it's just Zack Danielz, think of Jack Daniels, think of A Shot of Jack Daniels, A Shot of Zack Danielz. So yeah, I guess we're just going to roll with that. I'm rambling. I'm going to stop getting off topic here. All right. We're going to do things a little differently now. I realize like the one guy ranting just isn't as interesting as a group of people per se. So, rather than do that, I wanted to come up with a theme for a format, some sort of, idea for episodes, where I could also maybe plan them out and do them a lot more, formulaically. Is that a word? If it is, I just made it. Contact me, Webster. I have an idea. I have a theme. I have a couple ideas, running around in my head, but this one, I thought was pretty simple. It's even a little bit overdone, but you know what? It gives me a reason to watch movies. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first episode of a Funts Sports Movie Review. Funts Sports Movie Reviews. That's kind of hard to say. That kind of sucks. It's a sports movie review show. That's all I'm going to... That's the theme of this type of Shot of Zack Danielz episodes. I have another couple ideas in the making, or at least one other that I know I want to do, but I'll try and think of other ones to switch it up here and there. But this one just seems so easy. It's overdone, but there's a lot of movies out there I just haven't seen. A lot of movies that I really should see, and a lot of movies that I really love that I would love to see again. And have a drink with it, and come back here and talk about why I watched it, or what I watched, or what I thought of it. Maybe give it a review at the end, and, maybe some stories that relate to it in my life, or whatnot. And I might get the Funts guys in on some of these episodes. I know there's a lot of hockey movies out there. I was suggested a lot of hockey movies. So maybe get Jack in here. I know Days of Thunder is one that's on the list. I'm going to spoil for you right now. We'll have to get with Tommy Joe one day, and we'll have to watch that movie. But the list is very long. I'm not going to spoil any more. That's just one NASCAR movie I spoiled because, honestly, I didn't know it was real. I didn't know it was made. And that's the thing. I want to see movies that I haven't seen. I want to see movies that I love. I want to see movies that maybe you or we just don't like, And maybe if I watch it with a drink in hand, I'll think differently. But either way, the drink is just for just to enhance enthusiasm, I guess. But yeah, so that's the premise of this type of episode. So here we go. Our first episode. It's near and dear to my heart. I had to pick one of my favorites of all time, if not the favorite of all time. It's Dodgeball, a True Underdog Story. It was created in 2004. A very strange cast that, if I'm being honest, some really big names and a couple names that are. Oh, that's my phone. And a couple big names, or there's a couple big names in it, and a couple very random actors you may have never heard of or saw in any other movie after. There's one in particular, but that doesn't really matter. The point is, the movie's amazing. I love it. It's one of my favorites of all time. It's easily my most quotable because I had it on DVD from when it first came out, and I was only 11, 12. I don't think I was 13. And I just watched it non-stop. I couldn't stop cracking up at it. It was just too funny. So I'm going to watch the movie. I'm going to have a drink, or not, depending on it. Tonight I'm going to have a drink. And we're going to talk about Dodgeball, a True Underdog Story. When I come back, I'll put in some stupid transition shit here. Yeah, so enjoy listening to that for the next, 15 seconds. Stay tuned.
2 hours later.
So I watched Dodgeball for the first time in a while, but man, it never goes stale. It never gets old for me. It's one of my favorites for a reason. Okay, so fair warning, I don't plan on spoiling the whole movie, but I will be talking about the movie in detail, naming some of my favorite parts and lines from it. So yes, spoiler alert. Just in case you want to go watch it for yourself and you, for some fucked up reason, haven't watched it in the almost 20 years it's been out. So let's start off with the cast. Let's go through the cast. We got Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, that's the protagonist and the antagonist of the film. There's Justin Long, Christine Taylor, who is Ben Stiller's longtime wife. Rip Torn, rest in peace. Jason Bateman and Alan Tudyk? I don't know how to say his name. He's in a lot of random shit though, and he does a lot of like animal voiceovers for like Disney movies and shit. Really weird, but he's all over the place. And in this one, he plays a pirate. Yeah, so that's cool. Vince Vaughn, or Peter LaFleur, owns a janky old gym called Average Joe's. That, let's just say, it's not in the best condition, and it's just up kind of by the power of friendship, really, I guess. It's really just a couple workers and regulars that Peter has become friends with that keep this place alive and moving. While across the street, White Goodman, who is Ben Stiller's character, has this massive state-of-the-art gym called Globo Gym. It blows Average Joe's out of the water. It's just state-of-the-art equipment, and the look and style, it's slick. You know, in 2004 especially, I guess, is probably honestly like the beginning of, I don't know when corporate gyms started to become a thing. I didn't look into that, but it must be making fun of that in some way, you know, like Planet Fitness or LA Fitness or some crap like that, you know, rather than just your local gym that someone opened up. So these two have a contentious relationship, and White Goodman decides he wants to level Peter's gym to make a parking lot, or like a parking garage or something like that. Peter and his friends try to raise a big amount of money, $50,000, to save the gym, ultimately landing on a huge dodgeball tournament in Las Vegas with a grand prize of $50,000 being the way to go about it. They tried a bunch of other ideas and they just don't work out. So they have a qualifying tournament game. They have how do I call it? They call it a regional qualifying tournament match. But they lose it. They lose the regional qualifying tournament match, but they win by default because one of the Girl Scouts, yes, they played a group of Girl Scouts in this, tested positive for steroids and a low-grade beaver tranquilizer. Just fucking ridiculous. Oh, it's so fucking funny. I love that part, and it's just a guy with like a little shit stash in a Girl Scout outfit going just the crying. It's ridiculous. So yeah, the guys they get into the tournament. They're able to get into the tournament. So as they're celebrating, White Goodman is there. He shows up. And he brags about how he has assembled a team himself and is basically handed a spot because he knows someone that works for the tournament. He has been spying on them, and he wants to, foil their plans. I won't go any more into detail on this, but it's without a doubt one of my favorite movies of all time, if not the favorite movie of all time. It's just so fun. It is a sports movie, so it's automatically got me hooked. It's not amazing or anything, but it's just so quotable from start to finish. Ben Stiller from the opening moments of the movie is just the biggest douchebag. on the face of the earth. I mean, it's he's he's so douchey. It's amazing. The catchphrase "We're better than you, and we know it" is still used to this day by so many people in so many ways. I still hold true that a big wrestler right now named MJF, who's garnering a lot of heat and a lot of attention in the wrestling world, he says, "I'm better than you, and you know it." He says it all the time, and I'm like, you had to have gotten that from Dodgeball. You have to have. I've never heard him say it in an interview or anything like that, but it's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear, "We're better than you, and we know it." So, this is easily one of Ben Stiller's best characters ever, seriously. It's essentially him taking, if you've seen the movie Happy Gilmore, honestly, we should do this at some point. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it too. I'm just going to give that recommendation out right now. But it's basically him taking his nursing home character in Happy Gilmore and his dictatorish counselor character from the movie Heavyweights and making him this just awful, conniving, cringy, douchey gym owner. He's disgusting. He's over the top. He's flamboyant. He's got a crazy like a Fu Manchu mustache. I think he just has a mustache and fluffy hair. He pumps up like there's like a balloon where his jockstrap is. He pumps it up sometimes. I mean, it's just out of control. And it's perfect with Vince Vaughn, who I feel like is the same guy in most movies for the most part. He's just the most average dude ever. And in this one, he's extra average. He's really not over the top at all. He's just, it really matches how, the gym is called Average Joe's, and really Vince Vaughn is just acting like an average Joe in the movie the whole time. He's almost kind of boring, but he has some pretty witty lines thrown in there. So there's some cameos in this movie. Chuck Norris has a great moment. William Shatner, I think that counts as one. I mean, technically he was a character in it. He didn't play himself. But, I mean, you don't expect William Shatner to just appear as the commissioner of a dodgeball tournament. Like, it's just, or I think they call him the Chancellor. Like, what the fuck? And Gary Cole is great. He plays an awesome, like, sports commentator, lead guy. And Jason Bateman, I don't know what he's supposed to be. He's just like this surfer bro dude. And he just says the most Captain Obvious shit ever. They're definitely not I don't think they're considered cameos because, again, they're characters in the movie. But, again, just random guys just popping up out of nowhere. And Jason Bateman is so he's so quotable in this. Like, at one point he says, I think Gary Cole, whose name is Cotton in the movie, he's like, "This is a shocking turn of events." And Jason Bateman's guy, his name is Pepper. He's like, "I'm shocked," and it's just so stupid that you have to laugh at it. Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. But I play dodgeball frequently in Allentown, New Jersey. Every other Saturday, we go to this small little concrete court behind an ice cream shop in the old town in the old town of Allentown, New Jersey. It's nothing crazy, but it's loads of fun. Just we try to get as many people out there, and someone brings a big bag of balls. We got a speaker, and we play some pickup dodgeball. We split up the teams and we play some dodgeball, and it's we play until everyone kind of decides to go home. Usually, I leave a little bit early, but I get like 3 hours in usually. But people go beyond that. It's an event. It's a real event, And so, if any listeners out there are from New Jersey and want to play a little dodgeball, hey, hit up the Fun's Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Honestly, anything. Just let me know. Just let us know. I will get in contact with you somehow. You're always welcome. Just don't be a piece of shit. All right, now, since this is a sports movie and I'm a dodgeball player, I'm gonna give quickly comment on the skills of the protagonist team and the antagonist, White Goodman, who the way these games are portrayed in the movie are pretty fucking funny. And it's it's exactly what dodgeball's supposed to be, just fun, but they take it seriously. So it when you come to Allentown and play dodgeball with a bunch of people, it's not that serious. I mean, we do get serious, but it doesn't become a war per se. But we absolutely go hard. But it's just so funny seeing people get and like there's a referee and he's like, he does a countdown. He's make sure every team's ready. He's like, dodgeball. And that's exactly how we start our games. But I'm going to start with White, since he's the one guy on the antagonist team we can talk about. They really highlight his style and flair. Again, very much playing up the douchiness of the character. But he's pretty good, not going to lie. He's flying all over the court. He's rolling around. He's throwing some people out. He's taking advantage of the opportunities given to him. I'd say he's a pretty solid player, but he's easy to hate. He's very easy to hate. I'd say like player comp in football. Oh man, I'd say like Jalen Ramsey. He's just really good, but it's really easy to hate him. So yeah, that's him. Another player on his team that is just famous because she's played by an actor named Missy Pyle, who is an actress. And she's very beautiful, but they ugly her up so bad, and they make her some Eastern European lady. And everyone always tries to say the name, because he introduces her in such a grand fashion earlier in the movie. He goes, Fran Stelanoskevich Davidovitsky. And everyone tries to say it, and I'm like, no. It's Fran Stelanoskevich Davidovitsky. Fran Stelanoskevich. Fran Stelanoskevich Davidovitsky. It's just so fucking hilarious. She's got like a unibrow and shitty teeth. She has a cannon, but she ends up loving someone on the other team, which we'll get to in just a moment. Because now we're gonna go to the protagonist team, the team that we've been paying attention to this whole movie. So they don't really have a captain per se, but you just assume Peter's the captain. He owns the gym. Dude is somewhat unaware. He's not a bad player, but there's a lot of moments he gets caught off guard. Like there's a point during the game against the Girl Scouts. He just stops playing and apologizes to one of the Girl Scouts that he hits. And of course, another Girl Scout's going to come up, and while his head is turned, she pegs him, Whoa, pause. She does not peg him. This is just a PG-13 movie. She absolutely pins him. She pins him. She puts a dart on him, right on the head. Takes him out. Man, you gotta keep your head on a swivel. I keep saying that to everyone, man. You gotta keep your head on a swivel when you're playing dodgeball. It's always gonna come from a direction you're not fucking expecting. A little bit flat-footed sometimes in this movie, but he has some quality moments here. Kate is... She is someone that worked for Globo Gym, and she's like an accountant or something like that. I forget exactly what she does, or lawyer. I forget, but she worked for Globo Gym, got fired, and goes over to the Average Joe's side because she hates White Goodman, because White Goodman was hitting on her and stuff, and he's a sleazeball and all this. So he joins the team. She is the quote unquote love interest in the movie, I guess you could say. But like not really, but she is, but she's not. She's easily the best player on Average Joe's team. That's why they added her, because she played like 8 years of softball. She said she threw a fucking BB at one point. It's funny how like there's not really a love interest, but she is, but she's not. But I love how they give the girl like the best player on the team notoriety. I'm sorry, I skipped one big person. Rip Torn plays the funniest fucking character in the movie by far, I think, and that is Patches O'Houlihan, who opens. They show a video of Hank Azaria actually explaining how dodgeball was created and why it's a great sport and all this stuff. They act like like it was a real league or something. That's a ridiculous part of the movie, and the most famous line, basically like the hook of the whole movie is, you got to know the 5 Ds of dodgeball: dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. He's on the sideline just saying the most in the whole movie, he's saying the most obscene shit, and he does the most obscene shit, and he's just fucking hilarious. Just this old dude that like he can't walk. He rides around in a in a wheelchair. He's dirty. He's like he's so fucking funny in this movie. All right, back to the players. So we have Justin Long, who I believe is also named Justin in the movie, which is why I just call him Justin Long in the movie. Throughout this movie, he takes a beating. Like I feel like when they were filming this movie, they really just were like, all right, Justin, we're gonna just bean you with balls like nonstop. Pause. We're just gonna shoot dodgeballs at you nonstop, and you just try to, not like really. He didn't look like he was trying to catch it in all the shots that he gets hit. There's so many shots of him getting hit. Some of them look so fucking painful. I really think they just told him, hey, all right, take one for the team and get as many great reactions out of you as possible. But I guess in the grand scheme of the games, he looked like he did pretty good. He's the one that helped the turnaround, I think, in the end of the movie. It was, he's a solid player. He's young. He's the youngin. He's got to be up there. Then we go to Gordy. Gordy is the nerdy regular at the gym. He's kind of mid, but man, he gets angry and goes on an absolute fucking rampage. He wins a match by himself when he's like down David versus Goliath moment, and he gets just pissed off and goes fucking crazy. Love that. You gotta get angry. You gotta get mean. Pure grit. We go to Dwight and Steve the pirate. They're somewhat, and same with Owen, they're somewhat invisible throughout the movie, so we're just gonna chalk them up as average. Actually, no. Owen will consider below average because he became the manager once Kate joined the team, because you're only allowed to have 5 players on the court at all times. So, like tops. So, Owen became the manager once Kate joined the team, and he didn't really play when they were in Vegas. But yeah, so he was the weakest link. Kate was the strongest, and everyone else kind of in the middle. The games, they portrayed him as like, back and forth. They weren't really that long of matches either. But if you've played Dodgeball before, it's fun. And again, I'm gonna plug Allentown Dodgeball again. Like, just come on out. Every other Saturday, we play Dodgeball in Allentown. So if you want to relive this movie through your own head, come through. We don't care about your skill or even your sex. Like, we have men and women that show up and they play. We have some women that tear it up sometimes, So don't be afraid. Don't be shy. You want to take the challenge? Come to Allentown Dodgeball. I can't believe I'm just turning this review into a fucking plug for Allentown Dodge. But yeah, Allentown Dodge. Just go, man. Just go. I fucking love it. All right, so I'll give this movie an overall 10 out of 10. We're because of course I am. Like I keep saying, I fucking love this movie. The cast is not super star-studded, but like they all worked well in the roles they had. The movie has like a perfect balance of realism, ridiculousness, and there's sports involved. So even if the sport is kind of an obscure, I'll say, watch the movie, you'll get that, an obscure sport to play, but it's just fun, and it brings you back to like all the times when we were younger, when we were actually allowed to play dodgeball. I don't think kids are allowed to play dodgeball in gym class anymore. Yeah, dodgeball is a fucking fun game to play, dude. Like, so when you watch this movie, I mean, it's not exactly a sports movie. It's really a comedy. It's fucking hilarious. It's so quotable. I could keep quoting stuff, and I forgot one of the cameos is Lance Armstrong, who is now disgraced. That's probably why I forgot to throw him on here. But yeah, like it's just such a weird movie and such a good movie. I definitely recommend it. I'll always recommend it. I could watch this. I hadn't watched it in maybe even years. I don't even know. But I watched it so many times because I had it on DVD when I was younger. I like know almost every minute of the movie, like I know everything that's going to happen in the movie, almost to a word. So, I mean, yeah, just if you haven't already seen it in the almost 20 years it's out, take the time and go watch it. It's on Hulu. Am I allowed to plug Hulu? This podcast is fun. No, it's not. It's really not at all. I'm doing this off a couple of drinks and just pure having fun. Yeah, so that's my first ever movie review. It's one of my favorite movies, and I'm going to start doing more movies. I put it out on Instagram that I was going to, or I wanted to know what name some sports movies you liked, and I have a list, a long list. It's about 33 movies, so whenever I get the chance, I'll try and find some time to sit down, watch one of these movies, and do a review on it. Maybe I didn't really drink through Dodgeball, but you'll find out. Like when I have a couple and watch some, you'll probably know when. Right now, I was just enjoying the shit out of a classic movie I love. So yeah, that's the first episode of A Shot of Zack Danielz Sports Movie Reviews. We'll see what happens next, and let's see how this is received. I'm going to be asking around if anyone listens to it at all. Please tell me. You do not be afraid to reach out. But follow us at Funts Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find us at Fat Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports on YouTube and Facebook. And follow us on all of the podcasting platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor.com. Just go ahead, look us up, man, and I'll be making these more often. Hopefully, I'd like to keep it up. I'll do some more shows. I know I said, talking by myself might not be good, but the Phillies have been hot, so I think I'm gonna need to start doing that whenever I feel the need, because man, I'm so stoked about the Phillies at this moment, and I'm ready to go to bed and hope they have another win tomorrow. Yeah, all right, do the thing, guys. Thanks for listening. Peace.